Putin, as we can see, has been brilliantly, let's give him credit, creating these waves of bluffing lately. He bluffs, of course, without imitating, having this one-legged, well, let's say, drugged, absurd, assembled. God knows from what corners he has scraped together an army, yet he still tries to portray himself as a threat to the world, and he succeeds. At the same time, of course, he becomes furious because, for example, the Secretary General of the Alliance, the NATO Secretary General Ruchter, responds to all of Putin's ultimatums. He always responds to all of Putin's statements, and he replied, again, that Ukraine will undoubtedly, certainly, and inevitably become a NATO member. This same remark led to rage and a trap. Trump, still, in a surprising way, has not realized that Putin is deceiving him on what is called the most elementary blepharoplasty through F. And suddenly Trump, in order, according to his own statement, not to spoil the negotiation process with Russia, refused to sell Ukraine air defense systems. Now, keeping up with the rotation of presidential thought, following the rotation of Trump's thought, the expression of this thought, its rebounds, is absolutely impossible for a mortal. Everything happens too quickly, paradoxically, absolutely suddenly. For example, Trump, despite all the agreements, all the promises, his grief over the children killed in Sumy, actually went ahead and suddenly banned the sale of Patriot systems to Ukraine. And then Trump, out to spite himself, decided to teach himself a lesson and signed a complete ban on accepting in American ports any ships from the Russian Federation. Well, it would probably be appropriate here to let the imagination run wild and assume that in the Oval Office there reside, operate at least a dozen Trumps who push, fight, and steal from each other. Diet Coke, such as shout, argue, and within, say, 5 minutes, for example, make mutually exclusive decisions just to spite each other. But that's not the case. Trump is absolutely one and he alone is the author of this astonishing political cacophony. That is Trump as the great cacophonist. The search for logic. In these jumps and somersaults, Trump has already filled the mental asylums of the United States, Europe, India, China with political analysts, political scientists who can and want to make chlorpromazine great again. And political scientists, of course, after a course of treatment, dream of doing anything else. Drying mushrooms, varnishing coffins, teaching ballroom dancing, or even begging at the train station. Anything at all. They are ready for anything, just not to return to their profession, which, thanks to Trump and the attempt to analyze his actions, has washed away most of their sanity. Trump's thinking is truly peculiar, mysterious, reminiscent of a burning kaleidoscope, caught in a meat grinder. And no one, not even Vance, can guess what the next antic will be in the morning. He doesn't seem to know this. And old Donnie himself. However, although every decision of his is always a surprise and shock to himself, he never tires of admiring himself and demands the world to match his level of enthusiasm. And now the stunned United States of America are beginning to lower all statistical levels of trust and approval of the president's actions. These levels have already plummeted to almost record lows, 42%. But the possibilities of the great cacophony are limitless. He has every chance to reach zero, and not just any ordinary zero, but an absolute zero. And behind Trump's antics, a cold gaze from the Kremlin's sadist watchers who, of course, is concerned about some unpredictability of his American victim, but is confident that he will easily ensnare her in the web of this sophisticated bluff, this deceit, wrap her in a cocoon and finish her off. After all, according to Putin's logic, the main thing at the table is to choose the right place. At the table, essentially, there are only two such places. These places are the investigator and the suspect. The suspect can show off as much as he likes. His fate is predetermined anyway.